Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today we are going to do a full face of Rare Beauty, which you probably saw from the thumbnail and the video title, but you know what? Here it is. I have a full box of goodies and I can't wait to dig into them. This is the final result. You can see it's very natural, very neutral and everyday, but it's the vibes I love, and I just want to show you guys how I got to this look and also do a roundup review of all these products. I do have a lot. I must say I am not proud of how much money I spend on makeup, but it is a hobby, it's a lifestyle, so let's get into it. I do want to preface that I am wearing a top. It's just like a bit lower, so yeah, I'm not just wearing a blazer jacket. But yeah, I wanted to do a full face of Rare Beauty because I have enough products to do it, and I'm just looking at it. Some of these are almost empty, so really want to use them up ASAP, but I wanted to document them on camera as well, just because these are such great products and ones I reach for a lot. So let's start off first with priming our face with my favorite pore diffusing primer and the Always an Optimist illuminating primer. I love to combine these two together. I find that it just makes my makeup last all day and look so stunning. I'll start first with the pore primer. This is the one I love to put on the center of my face. One pump is enough, and I like to just put this on the parts of my face where, you know, obviously it's porous and I feel like there's a little bit of texture, so I really want to use this to smooth it out. And I love using my fingers. I find that the warmth of my fingers really helps make the makeup last longer, and it just melts into my skin a lot nicer as well. But mainly focusing it on the T-zone and nose area and some on the forehead. Obviously, immediately, at least for me, I can see immediately my pores seem to be a lot more, I guess, flattened and filled up, and my face just looks a little bit more mattified as well, which is what we want, especially in areas where it tends to get oily. This way the makeup will last a lot longer. The illuminating primer, we're going to apply it just a tad differently because I'm going to be using some liquid highlighters later on. So I'm just going to put one pump onto my brush and I'm going to dab it across my face. So I like to put the illuminating primer on the perimeters of my face just so that it gives my skin a very healthy glow, especially when I'm going to put highlighter later on. You can see immediately it just gives my skin such a nice juice up and it just looks a lot more refreshed. I love putting it on my eyes as well. I think it looks really good. I love putting it on my forehead as well. I think it's such an overlooked area just because it's actually where light catches the most, at least for me, and then some on my chin and a little dabbing on my nose of whatever's left over. Guys, I tried to keep my hair down for this video, but it's just too messy. I'm going to have to clip it back. There we are. At least it's out of the way now. I can't stand it in my face. But now we're going to go in with the Rare Beauty Under Eye Brightener. I don't have a complexion product from Rare Beauty, so this is the only one. We're going to go for the natural vibes, and I think that's really the message of Rare Beauty as well. Just your skin, but better, and just feeling confident about your own self. So I'm just going to place some on areas where I feel like need a little bit of extra help. And I feel like the primer really gave my skin some juiciness anyway. If you saw my review on this corrector and brightener, I didn't love it as much just because I feel that nowadays you have so many options in the concealer market. You can just choose something that is brighter than your skin tone and use that as a brightener under your eyes. I don't think this is something super necessary or special, but as a Rare Beauty lover, I definitely think that this is something worth having in your collection, especially since it has this metallic and I guess swirly applicator. I'm not sure if you guys can see it. It has these like spirals around it. It's such a unique applicator in that it is cooling because of the metallic material, but yeah, it's just a very thin and light coverage concealer in my opinion. It's also a bit of a hassle to get the product out. You really have to just get it in there. Yeah, I'm using quite a bit just because this is the only complexion product I have, so I'm going in quite a lot. I'm focusing on the center of my face because that's where I feel like I need the most correction. Okay, now that it's all over my face, I'm going to blend it out with my favorite sponge. This is the Juno Co. It's a little bit dirty, but this one is really good because it has these microfibers that doesn't really absorb the makeup into the sponge, and it just leaves the coverage maximized. So I really love using this one, and we're just going to blend it out. honestly, it's such a natural and lightweight formula. It just looks like your skin. It's actually so beautiful. You can't really detect it, and it did give a really subtle brightening to my skin and looks a lot more even out. And I actually think this is quite cute for, you know, just no makeup days. It is so natural. Honestly, it looks like it's a tinted moisturizer. Yeah, that's what the finish looks like. And you can see around my nose, it did cover up the pores and most of the redness quite a bit. So I think that's quite nice. There's still a little bit of redness here. Just need to blend it out. So I might go in with a second coat just around the nose area. But the face, that looks pretty nice. I think that looks pretty even out. There we are. This is what the nose now looks like. I'm pretty happy with my complexion. It still looks very natural and skin-like, which I appreciate tons. And I just think it looks so healthy and good. It's very lightweight. You can't actually really tell that you have a layer of makeup on, which I think is really good. It's great for the new trend of clean beauty, glass skin, things like that. But yeah, this is cute. Let's move on to the next step. These are the most viral products from Rare Beauty, and for all the reasons it should be, because these are my favorite liquid blushes ever. They're pigmented, they're easy to blend out, and they last all day. And the thing is, these are really cute. Like, the application itself is super easy to use. I find it super simple to navigate, and you really can't go wrong with it. And recently I saw that they're meant to have a heart on the inside of the applicator, which I think is cute, but I can't really see it. I think it's just me. But these are some of the best liquid blushes. I think they're only pigmented because we're used to swiping it on our face, but if you put it in small doses, it can look beautiful. Love the satin and matte finishes for these formulas, and I can't rave about them enough. I also want to talk about the highlighter real quick. These are beautiful too. I have mine in the shade Mesmerize. I really love this formula. Oh, the heart is a little bit more obvious here. Can we see the heart on the center of the applicator? That's pretty cute. But I really love these as well. They're very natural. They're not too chunky, but it gives a skin-like finish. And I'm going to, because I have 2 sets of blushes and highlighter formulas here, bear with me. I also have the Melting Moments blush and the powder highlighter, which newly released. If you saw my review, I really loved it. So what I'm going to do is, I think I'm going to put these 2, like the more classic liquid formulas on this side of my cheek, and then the Melting Moments blush on this side, and then the highlighter with this side. Well, we'll see how it works out. So I'm going to first apply this side. I love applying my highlighter and then my blush. You guys know that. I prefer a more subtle gleam rather than something quite outrageous. And I really like the shade Mesmerize because it has that pink tint to it, so it acts really nice as a blush topper or as a preface for your blusher. So I'm going to actually stamp that out with my Juno & Co sponge on the other side so it's clean. Oh, can we see that? The glow is phenomenal, and I like bringing it up just to the eyebrows. There we go. How stunning is that? It almost looks like I put blush on, right? It is so pretty. I love this formula. Oh my gosh, this highlighter, it is stunning, and you can definitely build it up, so that's something really beautiful about that. For these, because I have 3 shades, I think I'm going to go with Bliss. That is my favorite shade. It's just this beautiful neutral pink that goes with any day, and it just works so beautiful. It is a matte formula as well, so it is very long lasting. And I'm going to just dot it here a few times, and then same sponge. I like to use the glitter remnants, and I'm going to just blend this out. How pretty is that? You can see that it still can look really natural. It doesn't have to be super pigmented and bright. I love it. I think let's be a little bit adventurous. I'm going to put 2 shades on. I'm also going to put on the shade Peace. This is a bit more of an orange shade. It's very, very fun and bright for the summertime. I love it. Let's put it on the top here just to accentuate the blush. Let's put a little heart. That's so cute. It's like a heart shape. Anyway, me playing with my makeup. Here it is. Now this one, I forgot how pigmented this one was, so we might need to blend this all the way onto the eyes. Okay, I forgot how pigmented this shade was, so that's on me. I'm going to blend it up to my forehead, almost as a bronzer situation, since this one is the most warm tone out of the 3 shades I have. And I'm going to actually blend it down here, as I said, just to create some shading with my face, and on my nose as well, and the chin. There we are. That is this side of the face done with the blush, and now we're going to move on to the other side, but I'm going to actually set my entire face first and then apply this side of the face. That's how I prefer to apply it, and I'll show you guys my favorite way of applying the melting blush. I think this is a product that a lot of people have trouble with, just because the formula is so emollient and oily. It can slip around the face quite often, so I'll show you guys how I like to apply it. But first, let's set the face with the, what is this called? This is just a setting powder, I think, and this is in the shade Light. It is a beautiful formula because it has these little pearlescent shimmers that make it so juicy for the skin. This has the beautiful Rare Beauty design and logo on it, and if you just flip this little capsule here, you can expose the little, I guess, holes to dispense the powder, these tiny little dots here. I just think this is such a great design because this way you can keep your powder from flying everywhere, and I find that's the worst part about these loose powders. It just flies everywhere. So this is awesome, and what I'm going to do is just going to tap a little bit out of the box onto the lid. This is my favorite way of getting the product out, and then pressing it on my skin with a powder puff. This is my favorite powder puff here, Thin Lizzy. This one is super affordable and it just works great. So I'm just going to tap a little bit on there, like so. Now that looks like a lot and it will be like I'm baking, so I like to press it onto the back of my hand. You can see I'm really pressing the product into the puff and out on my hand so that it's a lot more dispersed. And what I'm going to do now is gently press this onto the skin. Can we see that it instantly, I guess, mattified the skin, but it still has that juiciness and glowiness to my skin? Like it removed the shine, but it didn't remove the glow. And I pressed it over the eyes and my cheeks as well, and we can see the highlight is still there. That is so gorgeous, am I right? And you can see my face eats blush. The blush looked really intense earlier, and now it's just gone. So not a big worry. I was a little bit scared at first. I was like, oh, I really messed this up. But yeah, I love this setting powder, and I'm going to do the same thing for this side of my cheeks. Pressing the excess off onto my hand, and this time just go in. Look at that. My skin are better. I wish you guys can see this up close and just like in my mirror. My skin genuinely doesn't look like it has makeup on it. Like this side of my skin, it just looks like my natural skin. Like the skin texture looks so good. You can still see like some bumps and like, I wouldn't say redness, but it just looks so natural. Can you see how thin that looks? It's just amazing. I love Rare Beauty for that reason. I know I'm a huge Selena fan, and that could seem like I'm a bit biased, which I'm not gonna lie, I am biased, but I genuinely love these products because these products are tailored towards my interests for makeup, and it just works beautifully. Now let's move on to this side of my cheeks. I'm going to first apply this powder highlighter. This is in the shade Exhilarate. So beautiful, right? I'm going to tap a little bit on my highlighter brush and gently sweep it over the high points of my cheeks. Look at that. This is beaming. This is a beaming highlight. I think this highlight would do really well just like 5 years ago when we were in the highlighting era where everyone wanted a beaming highlight, and oh, it just looks so pretty. I love this one, and it doesn't look too crazy either. It just gives a great shine. It captures the light in the most flattering angle. Love it. And now what I'm going to do is apply the Melting Moments blush. Such a cute name as well, right? Now my favorite way to apply this is actually with a stippling brush. This is from Colourpop, their F15 face foundation brush, and I find that this formula, because it's so emollient and sheer, the best way to apply it is to pack it on with a denser brush. So I really like to just go in there a bit crazy because this one disappears on my face after a while. It's not my favorite formula for a cream blush. I definitely prefer the liquid from Rare Beauty, But yeah, really coat the brush, and then now you want to stipple it and stamp it on. And you might be wondering, why am I applying a liquid or cream product on a highlighter? Well, I'm actually very influenced by Patrick Ta. I really loved Patrick Ta's blush duos, the cream and powder blush duos. I have the shade She's Blushing, and I also recently got She's So LA, and I just found that after I applied my creams over my powder products, it just looks so much better. It just looks more skin-like and it lasts longer. I was really shocked by that as well. It just did something magical. So I've been layering my putty and cream products over my powders and it looks great. You just really need to get it in there. I think that's the number one thing to look out for. And the thing is, I like a dewy finish. I don't like something that's overly, I guess, mattifying and then just bam, highlight. I like it to just melt in with my skin, and that way it looks the most natural. So that's why I am applying it like so, and I'm just using stippling motions, and you can see the pigment actually dissipates after you blend it in. So really want to take something dense so you can maximize the pigment, and you can see it really just transfers off the brush as well. We see here the skin looks very natural and the blush actually stayed on really beautifully. So that is it for my cheek products, and like I mentioned earlier, I don't really have any eyeshadows or eyeliner from the brand, but I'm going to do a quick setting of my face just to again melt everything in. This is a great setting spray, but you do have to shake it quite a bit because there's an oil layer, so you want to melt it all in, and again juices up the skin and it's so refreshing. It has this kind of citrus grapefruit scent to it. Not the biggest fan. It's a little bit pungent when you first apply it and then you take a sniff in and you could cough, but I don't know, it's quite comfortable. I wouldn't say it's uncomfortable. It's fine. It's not super artificial, and I really like this product. I think it really settles in my makeup a lot nicer. But now let's move on to some mascara. I have a travel size in their mascara that is black, and I love how for the travel they even have the full size brush. That's really important to me. And for me, this mascara it's okay. It's not my favorite just because it doesn't do too much for my lashes. It makes it darker, a little bit lengthened and more voluminized, but it's not something super phenomenal. I can't really stack it up. It does tend to clump on my lashes, and this brush applicator for the mascara is a little bit on the thicker side, so it's hard for me to get my lower lashes. That being said, this mascara doesn't actually flake on me, and I can wear it for around 10 hours, which is awesome. That's the number one thing I look for in any mascara. Long lasting, doesn't flake. Quickly curl my lashes and apply the mascara. So here's the comparison, one coat of the mascara versus no coat. This is it with it curled and no mascara. I think it looks pretty nice, but it does have potential to become fly leg, so I need to be careful and just do some on the lower lashes. So here it is, complete mascara applied on this eye. I swear I put some on, please trust me. But yeah, looks pretty good. Going to apply it on the other side and complete our look with some lippies. Okay, so both lashes are on, well, mascara on, and we're going to go on to the final step for today, which are my lippies. I have the Lip Souffle by Rare Beauty, and this is in the shade Brave. This is a beautiful orange brown, and it is just so natural for every day. This product actually is very reminiscent of K-Beauty lip tints. I've talked about this before in my Roman comparison video. It's very similar to the see-through tint by Roman and just velvet lip tints in general by K-Beauty, in that it's very soft. A souffle is the perfect way to describe it. And the thing is, this does tint your lips slightly, but one downside is it does transfer because it's not completely mattifying. It's a velvet finish, but it's very comfortable and I like this color. Can we see how soft that is on the lips? It just coats it so beautifully, and it just looks so elegant and romantic. I love this. I also want to mention the applicator. It's kind of this flattened triangle, rectangle, I don't know how you say it, but you can use this side to lather it on and tip and tilt to the side to get the precise edges on the, you know, lines of your lips. What is that? Lip lines? Yeah, things like that. But I love the applicator. It's such an everyday lipstick color, such a great MLBB. I love it. And you can see it's already starting to dry down. It's looking like it's semi-matte, but it's really comfortable on the lips. It's a weird sensation at first because it feels like it will never dry. Literally, it will feel like it's always on your, I wouldn't say you can feel it on your lips as in it's heavy, but it feels like it hasn't completely dried down, which I really like. I really like smacking my lips every once in a while, like, But what I love is because it's such an emollient and souffle and soft texture, once it stays on your lips, it stays like that. It doesn't smudge or flake. So no matter how you talk, your lips touch things and whatever, it will stay like this. It won't like have the pigment flaking off. You know when you have a liquid lipstick and you accidentally do this whole situation and you have like center of your lip completely like bare and then like flaky bits everywhere. Like that is not a vibe, but this one looks awesome. Well guys, that concludes my full face of Rare Beauty makeup. I am so happy with the outcome, and believe it or not, this is the first time I've actually used all Rare Beauty products in one go. I usually just take one or two for my makeup look, but honestly everything looks phenomenal, and I think it really encapsulates the message of Rare Beauty, which is to celebrate yourself and feel strong and powerful about your own self without, you know, looking at other people's opinions, etc. It's just such a positive brand. And overall, I want to say one thing. I really, just out of the blue by the way, I really like the shade names for Rare Beauty products. I'm one of those people that I'm quite conservative. I don't really like the names where it's like, oh, like this shade is like gold digger or like ass or something. I don't know. It's just like too much for me. I don't really love it. It's like I love NARS as a brand, but their shade names are a bit explicit for me. Rare Beauty just has beautiful shade names. You have things like, I don't know, a bit more just self-explanatory, like nearly neutral, but then you have really beautiful things like peace, hope, joy, exhilarate, mesmerize. It's just an optimist. Those are just such positive words, and I think it just is something we're missing in the beauty industry. I think, why can't we just have beautiful wholesome names for shades? Like, I would appreciate that. Or just something simple like light, medium, right? It's not that hard. Yeah, and just a side note thing for me, but overall I really love these products, and I'm so happy that I finally did this video because I'm a huge simp for Rare Beauty. And by the way, I bought all this with my own money. I am not affiliated with Rare Beauty. I would love to one day, so Rare Beauty, if you're looking, please consider me. I love your products. But yeah, let's do a quick recap of every product from Rare Beauty, and I'll start off with the order we applied it. The primers, absolutely gorgeous. You guys already know from past videos I use this combination like crazy, and I just genuinely love it. This is a little sample size, the Pore Diffusing Primer, and I'm definitely going to get this in the full size. Same with the Illuminating Primer. I just think this is such a killer combination. My skin looks beautiful. You can see how glowy and juicy my skin is, and honestly, it makes my makeup last. The Pore Diffusing Primer is just something special. It's not overly silicone-y, but it just glides over your pores. I don't know how you say, but my makeup just looks smooth after I use it. It just is so good. And this one, I love the natural shimmer and glow it gives to my entire skin. Even when days I don't wear highlighter, this one does the job. It's just so good. Can't recommend it enough. You guys need to try their primers. And next up is the Under Eye Brightener. You guys know how I feel about this. It's like, it's good if you're a collector, but it's nothing super special, and you can get it to a light medium coverage. I suppose you saw how I lathered it on my cheeks. It looks good, it looks fine. But yeah, I would just go for a concealer that's a little bit brighter. But that being said, it's very beautiful, and I like the innovative like applicator. I just think that's the most exciting part about this product, and you know, it looks elegant. The packaging is great. It's this heavy duty plastic. It's quite nice, but yeah, it's not a necessary product. The setting powder is a must try. It is so good if you're into illuminating and glowy settings. Okay, that made it sound really bad. Actually, what I'm trying to say is, if you want a setting powder that really sets your makeup and keeps it in place, but it still keeps your skin dewy and juicy, this is something you should try out, because you saw how when I applied it, it immediately, I think, made the makeup settle, but you could still see shine. But it's not shiny, it's just glowy. It's very beautiful. I can't say enough about this product, and it does make my makeup last. I do find that with this, it works with any single product, whether it's foundation, concealer in my collection. It just sets it beautifully, and it is just gorgeous. Even though it says it's the shade light, I feel like it's quite translucent, but definitely if you're deeper with your skin tone, choose something that's on the deeper side. But I think it's actually pretty translucent, and there's no obvious glitter chunks. It's just very finely milled, easy to use. You can use a brush as well. It's just that I don't like how the brush makes the powder fly everywhere, and I'm wearing a black blazer today, so I didn't want to get my blazer dirty. That's one of the reasons I use the puff, but I also do think a puff is very convenient for using this product. So yeah, this one is definitely one of the must tries from the brand. The blushes, guys, they are beautiful, they are stunning. Did look a bit scary when I applied the shade Peace on my cheeks. It was really wild, but it settled down a little bit. These are literally so gorgeous. You guys need to try it out. I'm so grateful that I managed to get the holiday kit with these 3 minis, because I got to try out all these different formulas and shades. I think my favorite formula is definitely the matte, so Bliss, but I think the satin ones like Hope and Peace are nice too. I honestly just think you need to find a shade you love. No matter which formula, you will love it. It's just long lasting, it's pigmented, you guys saw that, but it can also be very light and easy to use. And on the eyes, it actually lasts a really decent amount of time as well. So if you want like a nice wash of color that's monochromatic with the rest of your face, check these out. Honestly, you cannot go wrong with these blushes. Just find a shade you love and you will be set. This is the best liquid blush on the market. And I just saw from when I was looking at the shades that these are actually made in Korea. So, you know, that's why probably this brand, a lot of the makeup has a lot of K-beauty vibes, because K-beauty loves their cream blushes. And yeah, just an extra FYI. This is the liquid luminizer in the shade Mesmerize. It's a beautiful pink glow. It's a little bit more pigmented than the other shades, but I really like it since that's the way I apply my highlighter, always underneath or over blush anyway. I don't wear highlighter by itself. If you want, honestly, just take a little bit and it can look like a just really blinged up blush anyway. This is one of the highlighters that I actually reach for quite often when it comes to liquids. I often prefer my powder highlights just because it's easier for on the go, just go blip blop, whereas a liquid you need to take more time to blend out. But this one's really easy to use, and you guys can see it's not overly glittery or chunky as well. Again, finely milled, beautiful reflection, and just captures light in the most flattering angle. I love this product, and again, one of the products I think you should definitely try, especially if you love highlighters that are liquids and long lasting. On to another highlighter. This powder highlighter literally is a dream come true for me. I've always wanted to try a powder highlighter from the brand. You can see how smooth that is, and the texture of this actually, you can only use silky to describe it. It is just so beautiful and pigmented. The bling is insane, and look at that. It still looks natural as well. It doesn't emphasize any lines or pores. It just is so stunning, and I love this shade I picked up. It's just an everyday champagne you can use, and you get a lot of product in here. You get 2.8 grams. Awesome. And this is made in Italy, which just sounds really bougie if I'm honest. Anything made in Italy, I'm always like, ooh, it's quite fancy. But this is a really great formulation, very soft, it's blinding, but it also doesn't look overly fake and metallic. Out of the 2 highlighter formulas, this one's definitely my pick. I just prefer a more softer powder, and this one is borderline putty finish. It is just that soft. You need to try this one out. The Melting Blush in Nearly Neutral is a beautiful shade. It is this kind of, I guess you would say, beige and rosewood shade, and as I said, it's very emollient. You can see as I'm playing it around, there's already a layer that's coming off it. It's very easy to get onto your fingers, and look at that. It's a beautiful shade. It doesn't have a lot of pigment. It's actually quite an interesting texture as well. Once you blend it out, it feels almost like it has an oil slick to it, almost like a pore primer finish. But yeah, it's a bit hard to use, I would say. This is something that I had to experiment with quite a bit, and I found that using a denser foundation brush was the best way to stipple it on and maximize the pigment as well. But it's a really interesting one. Again, if you're interested in the brand, I think this is something you should try out. But out of all the blush formulas, I still think the liquids are the way to go. This is not my favorite, but it's really cute and beautiful. It looks like a little macaron. I just love, and I'm a sucker for Rare Beauty packaging. But yeah, this one is good, but not the best. And once it dries down, you can see it's kind of powdery. It doesn't really have a shine to it anymore. It's an interesting texture, and again, made in Italy, but yeah, it's just not my favorite. You can see it's easy to become a little bit patchy with this product. The setting spray is a love. I love the setting spray so much. As I said earlier, it melts the makeup really nicely, and I really like the spritz as well. It's very fine. Let me just... It's like an aerosol. It's very, very fine, and it's easy to disperse. I love a fine mister on my setting sprays, and this one just melts the makeup really nicely. I don't see it making it last a lot longer, but it just feels really refreshing, and I feel like it makes the makeup lock in together a lot more. So yeah, this one is worth a try. The mascara, as I said earlier, I just find the applicator a tiny bit bulky for my eyes. It's more like a subtle hourglass and very, very spirally with its bristles. Yeah, you can see it's like way too big. I can't really get into the insides of my eyes, and it's nice. It gives a very subtle effect for my lashes. Doesn't do anything super exciting, but it's good. I think this is a mascara that works if you already have beautiful long lashes. It will help you accentuate them, but for lashes like mine, it doesn't do too much for me. But yeah, it's good. I'm happy I tried it, but it's not something I would recommend. Last but not least, this lippy. This lippy is just so beautiful and comfortable. Such a unique formula in the Western market. Something I think you should definitely try out. And I love the shade selection. You have so many, a wide variety of tones. Warm, cool, neutral, olives. And then you have some bolder pinks, purples, more like brown beiges and nudes. It's just a great line, and I actually want to try out more of the Rare Beauty lippies. I want to try out their lip liner and their lipsticks, so hopefully I can get my hands on those later. I think this one's definitely worth a try. If you haven't tried a velvet lip tint that's slightly slippery in the past, this one's a great one. And yeah, I just love my shade Brave. It's a beautiful everyday lipstick. Alright guys, that is it for a full face of Rare Beauty. I hope you guys enjoyed this video as much as I did, because again, I'm a simp for Rare Beauty. If I have the chance, I will talk about it any 2 seconds. I will always talk about Rare Beauty. It is just my favorite thing ever. So, you know, I just really wanted to showcase these products and tell you guys my true thoughts about it. You can see that even though I love the brand and Selena as a creator, I do not want to hold back on what I think about them. I think being honest with your reviews is the most important thing, and I don't want to be too biased. So yeah, I hope to do more videos like these for you guys in the future. But let me know down below, what would you like to see in the future, and have you tried Rare Beauty before? If so, what's your favorite product from them? But aside from that, that is it for today's video. If you did like it, please give a thumbs up or even subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you guys for the next one. Bye bye.